Hey, what's going on YouTube? Marine X back at it again. For all you pouch boys that have both a tool kit, a med kit, and then like a regular EDC pouch kit, I found your in-game EDC pouch. All right, so first off, this is the Ember Pro EDC pouch by Roaring Fire. Let me start this video off by saying that this video is for demonstration purposes only. This is not my in-game forever pouch. I put this together. I used it for about a week so I could see how it would feel to have everything in one kit. This does not fit my lifestyle. This does not fit how I normally EDC. This is for to give you ideas. Will this pouch work for you? I repeat, before you jump in the comments and say, well, I thought you said you never do this or you never do that. Okay, I'm letting you know. If you're interested in this pouch, if you're interested in buying this thing up, I'm showing you how you might be able to pack this thing out and why it might be beneficial for you. Okay, so with that being said, let's just jump into this and check it out to see what we have. So first off, this is the Ember Pouch Pro by Roaring Fire. Now, Roaring Fire has always been that company that really impressed me with coming out with solutions that are very affordable. I don't know where they make their stuff. I think they're doing a lot of construction both overseas / here in the States, and they're able to get the prices down by not necessarily going with the highest end gear. Now, up until this point, my recommendation for kind of like that low end, more affordable pouch has always been something from Expedition, whether it is their new admin pouches or it's been their beefies and fatties of the past, something like that. Of course, I love my nutsack pouches, but those are very pricey boys. So that brings me down to having something like this from good old Roaring Fire. So this is the Roaring Fire Ember Pouch Pro. This is a multifunctional pouch. You can use this with tactical MOLLE compatible. So you can attach this to a tactical vest, to a flak, to a bag, to a duty belt, gear, whatever you want to. Okay, use this at a shooting range. Use this for your everyday carry. Put this together as a tactical loadout. There's a lot of different ideas you can use this for. If you're allowed to and you're part of a military unit, maybe you can use this along with your military kit. If you're EMT, police, fireman, prepared citizen, wherever you may be, I like this pouch for a couple of reasons. First off, it's pretty big. Of course, links will be in the description for you to check this thing out. Made of 1000D Cordura nylon fabric, and it does have a very high tensile strength. I purposely have packed this thing like a burrito just to see, can I make it rip? Can I make it tear? Can I do anything like that? It has high strength webbing, binding tape, and it does have very, very high quality YKK zippers. I don't know what size they are. I just know that they're big and they're easy to use. They never get bind up. They never, I'm assuming they're self-correcting, but I haven't been able to get them to go off the track or anything like that. You're going to notice they're not AquaGuard, so it's not going to be 100% waterproof or anything like that. Let's just talk about this real quick. So front here, you do have a little cinch area. So if you want to cinch something down in the front, you can. So if you want to put a tourniquet in the front, of course you have this, so it allows for you to cinch it down. You have the loop panel in the front. So if you need to identify this as a med kit or whatever, if you want to put a REs on here or a patch on here, you got that. Now, underneath this, there is a pocket. I don't have anything in it, but just know that there is a pocket here. I have mine so stuffed that I can't use it, but the pocket goes all the way down. The very back is where you can attach this to your different MOLLE devices. If you want to attach this to a flag, backpacks, or whatever, bring your own straps. It doesn't include that, but you do have the areas here. Has a good grab handle at the very top. And the grab handle is going to allow for you to grab this from while it's laying down, multiple angles. Has a little label here to let you know that it is of Cordura fabric. So there you go. On the outside, I have a hero clip. I have is this the mini size hero clip? Yep, mini size hero clip can hold up to 40 pounds. So this little hero clip is going to be good for hanging this entire thing from a surface or something like that. You're going to notice there's two different compartments in this pouch. That's why I think this can be an end game. So unlike the beefies, the fatties, and I'm pretty sure you guys can comment down below any pouches that remind you of anything like this. But this allows for this to be an EDC pouch and a med pouch or whatever you want to do all in one. So let's just dive deep to show some type of things you could do with this if you saw fit. So I have this thing pretty packed out. And this is just, like I say, for things that you may want to put in here, give you some ideas of how you may want to use this bad boy and all of that good stuff. So let's just start over here just to kind of show you. We have a bunch of webbing here, some molly size, some bigger size webbing, all sorts of different options for how you may want to do it. This collapses on top of itself. So you'd have the large webbing areas with on top and bottom. You can slip stuff on top of that, put bigger items in the back. Then you have a very large pocket in the top. You have a little key loop holder where the actual key attachment is on the other key holder, but you can move this around. It's not permanently adjusted into one spot. And I like that. So for instance, here on this Maxpedition pouch, it's in there forever. If you want to move it, you have to take it apart. Whereas this one, you can move it around as you see fit. I like the fact it does have a high vis interior. It comes in 2 different colors. I don't know the interior color for the black one. This one here with this kind of like this desert tan or khaki color, it does have a high vis yellow interior. So you have the large areas here. So we'll start from left to right. I did put a larger size. This is a Phoenix. This is the PD36R 26. This is a 27100 battery size flashlight, big boy flashlight. So imagine you want to put something that's more streamlined. If you want to put something that's a little bit fatter in here, you're going to be able to do that easily. Say for instance, you might want to throw a larger flashlight in there, like from Ace Beam, that can easily squeeze into there. You could throw smaller flashlights in there. You could throw flashlights that are flatter, whatever the case may be. Next to that, this is the Gerber MP600. So MP600 slips right in there pretty easily. So you're going to be able to fit your Leatherman Surge, your Free P4, if you have a Leatherman Arc, whatever, or if something from another company, you know, so it kind of lets you know you can fit a full-size multi-tool in there. You don't have any compromises or anything like that. So you can kind of pull that out. A full size, I think this is like a 6 or 7 inch size pair of Knipex water pump pliers. So now you know that you have a lot of leverage there. If you want to use this as a toolkit, you can fit a larger set of pliers in there and still have a little bit of room to work with. So I like that. On top of that, it does have the ability to attach stuff to it. So I do have a battery bank in here, and I just have the charging cable for my battery bank attached to one of the webbing attachments on here. It makes life easy. And in the very back, because normally in my pocket, I would have a folding knife. So if I were loading this thing out, I would probably put a fixed blade of some type. In this case, this is a Essie Kanderu in here. So that way I have a different knife in the pouch. Or, you know, for some of you freaking guys that just love having a backup knife, you have a backup knife in your pouch as well. So you kind of get some ideas of how this thing works. Look how big and much area you got in the front, a notebook in the very back, just in case you need to take your notes or leave some notes somewhere. I like this one from Lockbee because it has binding on the side, and it's I'm assuming this will be a lot harder to rip and break versus something like from Field Notes or from Field Book, which I normally have to end up duct taping these things because they always end up shredding apart. So I actually kind of like this one a lot. But look at how much room you got there. So you can put all sorts of stuff inside of here. If you want to load this out with carabiners or batteries or med supplies or anything else, you're going to be able to do that pretty easily. Moving on to the other side of the pouch. So we're still in that front area. Right here on the far right, we have the Olight O Tactical B1. I don't know if this pen ever released, if it ever came out. They sent this to me months ago, and I don't know if I ever seen it actually come out. I like the fact it has a little fidget. I don't fidget with stuff, but if you do have anxiety or you like to fidget around, you can fidget with the top. It's a side click pen. So since it's side click, they decided to make the top a fidget, which makes a lot of sense. This does use Parker refills or G refill, but it uses a lot of different refills. So you don't feel the need to use a proprietary system. I don't know what this is made of. I don't know if this is titanium. It feels like titanium, or if this is stainless steel, but you know, just to have a pen to go with the notebook that's inside of here for your pry bed, for your pry bar bulls. And I know there's folks that love their pry bars. I have an O Tactical pry bar in here as well. Has a little bit driver. I know a lot of people actually like this. I don't use it like ever, but if you do want to get this thing, I will say the benefit for it, it stores the bits inside of it, and then you can load the bits in the very back. And this thing is loaded up if you need to do small adjustment to a, you know, a light fixture on a wall, take a knife apart, whatever you guys don't do with your pry bars and you think you're going to do with your pry bars. There you go. It does have a slotted screwdriver at the end, a bottle cap lifter. Technically, you can use this on top of a bolt or a nut to take it apart. That's what all these little indentations are for, but you're not going to do that. It has a ruler on here. in centimeters, and right here it has the same measurements in inches. So quick measurements, has a pocket clip, and then the thing overall is actually pretty well made. I will give them that. So pretty nice. So here as well, I have a cigar cutter. So if you want to use this as a kind of a hybrid pouch, you could throw a little cigar cutter in there as well. A fire source. This specifically is a Zippo with a butane insert because I smoke sticks. Almost all my Zippos have butane inserts versus the normal Zippo fuel, but I have that in here as a good option for you. A Tide pen. You get coffee stains, coffee drips. You go to coffee shops, or your kids are freaking knuckleheads like mine. I go through these things like hotcakes. I buy them in packs of 8 on Amazon, and I just keep them at the ready. If you are the type of person that orders, or you work on a construction site, or you forget your utensils, you order DoorDash a lot, or whatever the case may be, keep yourself your own little utensil inside of here so you can use this for eating purposes or whatever. So I think that makes a lot of sense if you need to have something at the ready all the time. This is the Gerber Devourer by Gerber Gear. And it does include a multi-tool. I took that functionality off because I don't necessarily need that. If I can get this thing out, there we go. So, so technically this is a digging side if you want to use this for digging purposes. And if you have the multi-tool here, that has a bottle cap lifter and pry bar and all the other stuff. But I took it off because there is a pry bar in here already, and that would just be too much and it was make it bulky. But it's just nice to have an eating utensil at the ready. Cordage, why not? Why not have some zip ties? In this specific case, I do have some snare wire in here and zip ties. So if you're the type of person in HVAC, or if you find yourself wanting to make traps, or if you have to secure something on the fly, you got some zip ties and some ways to do that very easily. Nail clippers. I love my nail clippers. Okay. So these will almost always make it into a pouch no matter what. These are Victorinox nail clippers. They also include scissors. So my favorite part of these are the nail clippers. I think a lot of times I fail to mention they include a knife. They include scissors. They include a file, I think. I never use those items, but they have that type of stuff in here if you need them. And of course, the main functionality here, the nail clippers are in here. Toothpick and tweezers are on this thing as well. So it's actually a pretty functional Swiss Army knife, and a little, if you want to hook this to a chain or hook this to your keychains or whatever, it has that little area as well. You can get yourself a guided field sharpener, or I have the smaller version here instead of the full size guided field sharpener by Work Sharp. So if you want to be able to sharpen a knife on the fly, you can fit that in here. So I'm kind of giving you some ideas, the type of stuff that can go in this bad boy. The battery bank, as I mentioned earlier, this is the Nicore. This is the carbon fiber skinned. This is the 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank by Nicore. I love this thing. I actually use this thing, I think, almost daily to charge different devices. So here it is. Look how empty that is. Look how much room this thing has when you have it completely emptied out. Imagine you loading this thing out for yourself. Still plenty of room back here. If you want to throw extra stuff, I got some duct tape in here around some old credit cards. You have that if you need it. And I think that is it. So you got plenty of room. These pockets go all the way down. You can use those as you see fit. But then there's a whole nother compartment back here. And we can unzip that. Let's zip up this first compartment. We can unzip this and we will see an entire additional storage area. This thing is big. First off, we have 8.5 inches by 7, or let's call it 8 1/3 inches by a little bit over 7 inches. And then when it's empty, it's 1.97. Now, I will say that mine was stuffed, so it was more than 1.97. It weighs about 7 ounces. It's 200 grams, you know, Freedom units, 7 ounces. Everywhere else, 200 grams. So you kind of know how much this thing is going to weigh. But this is the part of the pouch that drew my attention the most. This can now be your all-in-one pouch with a real medical kit. Now, you're not going to have everything. You may not have seatbelt cutters. You may not have a pair of scissors, all that type of stuff. But for the essentials, instead of having 2 different places at once, now you have one pouch that can do everything. I think that's pretty sweet. You don't have to use it this way as well. You can do other things. You can put chargers back here, a brick if you want to be able to charge your different devices. Maybe you have a laptop or whatever, but I'm going to show you it like this. So this top area here, I have this loaded with ouchie boo boo type stuff. Ways to remove splinters. So these are little splinter remover tools or whatever. You take these And if you have splinters in your hand, you can take these and dig splinters out and then dispose of them and not keep them. A bunch of Band-Aids, different sizes of, well, these are adhesive dressings. I don't have the brand, but that's what we call them colloquially, is Band-Aids. And in here, I just have a small package full of peels, sting relief, lip guard, some ointment for that. We also have some stop diarrhea, some ibuprofen, some Advil, just all in a small little baggie that we can take whenever we want, some Imodium, whatever you might need, kind of just sealed up here just in case it's needed. And then on this other side, I treat this side as a trauma area. So before we get in there, a bunch of safety pins. My kids might rip their trousers. You never know what might happen, just to have some safety pins on the fly. And I let those to be an additional zipper pull, so I can use those to easily open this thing up even more. And then you can dig inside of this area and you can treat this as a trauma area. So an area that you're going to go in even less often than not. You can put a SWAT tourniquet in here. You might be able to stuff a full-size tourniquet in here. I'm not really sure about that. It might be better suited on the outside of this. We do have a chest seal treatment out here for a sunken chest wound. This takes care of the entry and the exit. Israeli bandages is in here. We have trauma dressing in here. So a pair of gloves. So now you have like a small trauma kit. This is highly unlikely to be used. That's why I keep it separate. But if someone gets shot or something crazy like that were to happen, or someone were to lose a limb, maybe you would be able to assist, or maybe you could treat this as an IFAC, an individual first aid kit for yourself. So if you get hurt in a big way, now this is ready for you to rock and roll. This is such a W, in my opinion, for Roaring Fire. I don't like the color. I think it looks pretty. I'm just not a big fan of the color. I don't like the offsetting molly. But once I get past that, maybe, if in full disclosure, Roaring Fire sent this to me. They're not paying me for this video. They don't even know I'm making this video. They asked me to review this, and initially I wasn't going to. They asked me to review it a long time ago, and Roaring Fire has never paid me anything for anything that they've sent me. So the reason that I decided to actually do a video on this is because a lot of times I do make videos on higher end pouches. The Nutsack double admin pouch is $169, right? The Nutsack Commander is $119. I have pouches from Vertex. Those cost upwards of $100. Even Alpaca stuff costs more than this. And even if you can find something near the same price from Alpaca, from Garage Build, from Data Crew, you can't attach those items to other tactical pieces of gear. You could attach this to a bag. Now, Maxpedition does have the ability to attach their stuff to other items, right? But, you're going to be spending more money on a compact admin pouch from Maxpedition than you will be from Roaring Fire in their Ember Pouch Pro. This organization pouch is a hitter for me. I will say this: if you're okay with the the fact that you are definitely going to have a little bit of a bigger loadout once you have this thing completely loaded out, like, I'm just not really seeing too many downfalls for this. Now, for future iterations, I will see here that there's a lot of hidden features on this thing that you don't even know kind of exist. I kind of wish they were a little bit more pronounced, and I also wish they included the strap so you can attach this to other items versus you having to bring your own. That would be nice as well. These zipper pulls are a little obnoxious, and the fact that the zipper pulls are exactly the same for both areas, I wish they were differentiated a little bit. Now, of course, you could always take these zipper pulls off and put on your own if you want to be able to differentiate between the two. But I do like the fact that they give you a little bit of paracord technically for the zipper pulls, so you can take these apart and use those in an emergency situation. That's pretty sweet. So I do like that type of stuff as well. Now, I understand them putting the molly webbing on the front so you can attach other items to the front, like pins, or if you want to put a flashlight or maybe even a tourniquet out here. I do get that. I wish they would have kind of maybe gave me more, maybe bring the molly closer together and give me more loop panel down here so I can label it easier. I don't know. This is just kind of me thinking out loud, but I don't see too many cons about this, especially for this price. So this is all for demonstration purposes. This is not going to be my everyday carry. I'm just trying to show you how this thing might work for you. Comment down below. What do you think of the Ember Pouch Pro? Is this something you can see yourself picking up? Is this a hard pass? What do you think? Let me know with the comments down below. All right, if this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for stopping by and watching me run my grade. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.